Hey guys, welcome back to the ASMA channel. And today we will be doing the triple upload. If I start talking randomly, it's because it's the third time recording this. Because the second time I did it, it was perfect except for the mic I was using was broken. And it picked up nothing. It was annoying. And this will probably be a 15-minute video. I've done the thing 3 times, so I think I remember what happens. Okay, let's start. And this is going to be what if Bell had requip. This is the first armor he gets. And this leveling works different. You need 1000 XP to get to level 1 if you're not a familia. If you aren't a familia, you automatically get to level 1. And you need 2000 to get to level 2. 3000 level 3, 4000 level 4. It goes on and on and on. The max amount of XP you can get per day is 500. And that's if you kill 500 monsters on level 1. And you get, on H level, if you go to level 10, you get 10 XP per kill. No. But if you're at level 1, you can only get 100 XP per day. If you're at level 2, 200 XP per day. So yeah. Okay, you get the gist. Okay. Now, we're gonna start the story at the part where Bell's grandfather died. Bell's in his house looking through the books his grandfather read of heroes. He sees the Legend of the Argonaut, Hercules, and the Crusades of the Requip hero. He says, I haven't read this one before. He finds it strange because all these books were his. He starts to read it and he learns that the Requip hero could, any armor that it had, that gave it special abilities, and they could change armors with one word. He says, this is awesome. That's probably one of the strongest abilities I've ever seen. As he's reading the book, he falls asleep. He sees a red bell asking, what do you want to become? He says, the kind of person who can be merciless when necessary. Then he sees a yellow bell that asks, what do you want to be? I want to be as prideful as a wolf. And a blue bell. What strength do you wish you had? What do you treasure most? My strength and cunning. No, what attribute what attribute do you wish you had more of? He says strength and cunning. As he reads, at the end of the book, he looks up and one thought comes to his mind. Beast King. He says it, Beast King, as this armor appears on his body. And then one more thought goes through his head. Unequip. Yeah, he says it, unequip. And then he says Beast King again, wondering what just happened. But instead of unequip crossing through his mind, different things do. All the abilities the suit has. So he has movement speed boost, call the pack, summon mount, summon sword. And I will pull up the sword in a second. It's just a black long sword. I'll show you it later. Probably around the end of the video. He doesn't really use it much. But it's something he can use while he's in his human form. Let's say that's what it's used for. But he won't be in his human form very much. So what he does is he thinks about all this stuff and says, I could be a hero like the Argonaut, no better. So he goes to Aurario, but not in his beast form, because he doesn't want people to pick him for his power, but for his heart. So he's rejected by every familia, but then he comes across Hestia. Hestia welcomes him, and he tells her right off the bat, after he joins the familia, that he has a special power. He can equip any armor that gives him special abilities. So he equips this armor, and he can equip any armor, not any armor, and he can equip any armor that gives him special abilities. He equips it, and she says, wow. And then in her mind she says, I got lucky with this one. And da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so Belle's in the dungeon, level 3. Let's say he needs 7 more kills to level up to level 2. So he's been training for about that long, and he hasn't been going super hard at it. Yeah. So the Minotaur shows up, and he thinks to himself, what ability could I use in this situation to help me? But he says, I have to equip my armor, because he's been running around with nothing but a sword. So he says, I don't want other people to see it, so what he does is he runs off to the secluded part of the dungeon, and the Minotaur's chasing him, but Eyes is chasing the Minotaur. So as he gets to there, he says, equip Beast King. As he says, Beast Commander. He tells the Minotaur to kneel and snap its neck. It does so. And then he levels up, because it's a level 10 monster. It's a 4/10 monster. I mean, he levels up, and it says on the screen, new suit unlocked. Silver Crow. He says Silver Crow as this appears on his body. And all the thing comes here. He's now a master marksman, and the staff his rifle is technically a magic staff, and its name is Rifle. He also has that knife in his hand. His name is Obsidian. He has 3 abilities that I know of off the top of my head: copy, paste, and cut. Copy, paste. Yeah. Okay. So now, yeah, he also has the ability Final Flash Thunder Cannon. It's an ability to shoot a large ray of light out of his gun. He also has Magic Missile and Thunderbolt. He also has the ability Stealth, Sense Heat, Sense Lie Detector, and what's another one? He also has the ability Quick Reflex. So yeah. So as he senses the heat of Eyes walking up, he says Stealth as he goes invisible. He can't be heard, can't be seen. He walks behind Eyes, and Eyes says, "Why does that Minotaur look like it killed it? Looks like it snapped its own head." And Belle comes out of Stealth and says, "It didn't. I made it. I snapped its neck with its own hands." Eyes tries to stab him, thinking it's a monster because of the blood glowing face, and Belle snaps her sword. He, out of reflex, he starts battling and says, I'm sorry, as he uses copy the sword and make it out of stronger material. He says, here you go. After that, she asks, what's someone who's strong enough to kill a Minotaur doing on level 3? He says, well, I was on my way down, but I think I'll be on my way up now. He starts running up as she says, I wonder who that guy was. He was pretty good looking. Let's say extra sense, let him hear that, and he screams back, I heard that. She blushes and walks out. Now, thinking. Yeah. So he runs up to Miss Anna and says, so whose Eyes? Miss Anna says, you don't know who Eyes the Sword Princess is? Because, I don't really get around very much. I'm more of a go to the dungeon, get the kills, get the experience points. He says, yeah, that's been me for a while. And then she says, so what's with the new look? Get a new armor piece? She laughs and he says, yeah. Because Andrew knows about his requip ability. It was mandatory for his adventure. So she says, oh, that's cool. What's this one do? It's pretty much a mage class. The other one's a warrior class. She says, that's awesome. You should show me it sometime. Because let's say Miss Annie has a thing for Belle. He pulls out his rifle and says, this is my staff. Its name is Rifle. She says, that's cool. What's it do? Well, it mainly just fires magic. But it has very good accuracy. It even has an ability called Lock On. And they talk about it for a while, then Bell leaves. And then Seer hands him a crystal. And he says, well, I must have dropped this before I got my form. Then, this is in the morning, by the way. Then she gives him a lunch. So, here you go. But you have to promise to stop by later. That happens. And he promises. And on his way to the dungeon, he sees a little girl getting beat up in an alley. He uses stealth and runs over. There are 3 guys. He slices all their throats. And sees it's Lily. But he doesn't know her name, so he says, "What's up, little bit?" As he comes out of stealth, she backs up and says, "Are you a monster?" Because Bell's face is glowing and he's a machine right now. He says, "No, I'm just someone who figured you don't like getting beat up." He hands her the knife, which is pretty valuable, but before he did it, he copied it. So he makes a new one and says, "You can keep that. It's a murder weapon, technically." She says, "But it looks expensive." He says, it's no more use to me. Yeah, by the way, you look like you need it. She has tattered clothes right now. He offers her a job as his supporter. She accepts, thinking, well, I might be able to bag some more stuff from this guy. He doesn't seem like he has very good perception. Unknowing her, he's a fucking robot. So they go to the dungeon, and Bell meets his quota of 500. No, not 500, 200 XP on level 5. So after that, he just kills for fun. And he makes 80,000 ballas. Because let's say he killed around 500 monsters, because he lost track. They were probably down there for about 6 hours. So they go up to the thing and they say, "So we never really discussed payment, mystery." So when she says that, he says, "Let's go to the bank before anything happens." They walk to the bank and she says, "What are you trying to pocket all the money, mister? I thought you were a good guy." He says, "No." He hands her 15, he takes 30. He says, "That's the down payment there, and then there's your payment for the day." But in that case, we would be splitting it 50-50. That's the point. You pick up every magic core I'd killed, which was easily over 500. So, you deserve it. Considering I wouldn't have that much, I wouldn't have left cores behind if it wasn't for you. She trades in, she puts all the money in the bank and says, "This is great. This is a great gig. This guy makes more money than a full party of level 2 adventures. And he splits half of it with me." She goes to sleep happy that night. In the morning, Belle walks over and gives her a beater and some pants. She wears them under her coat, being happy that she actually has some actual clothes. So I don't like how Lily always looks tattered up. That's why I'm doing this. So now she looks kind of fresh and clean. She got that Gucci swag. I'm just kidding. There's no such thing as Gucci and Benmachi. But yeah, Lily goes to bed happy that night. And Belle goes to the store that day to find some new equipment to see if he can copy it. He sees a bucket. He finds a barrel of armor. He reads it and says, "Welcome Zone." He finds it's very light material, so he tries to track down the blacksmith. It's a red-haired man who makes swords in a local blacksmith shop. He walks in and says, I'm looking for something better or equal quality of this knife." He puts obsidian on the table and he says, "I can't do that. This knife is better than anything I have." Belle asks if he can see a sword that might be near its quality. He hands him it and he looks around and he sees Wolf Crozo. "So you are him." Wolf says, "Oh, I get it. You're looking for a magic sword, aren't you?" Belle says, "No, I'm looking for someone to join my party. I can't go past floor 15 without 3 party members. My guild advisors won't allow it. And I figure you need materials for your crafting. He says, that'd be great. Then the next day, with Lily, Wealth, and them all go down to floor 15. And they massacre everything on that floor. None of the other adventurers can even go there. Wealth is a frontline fighter, and Belle used a Final Flash Thunder Cannon on, let's say, 20 monsters at the same time. Because let's say Lily was firing arrows to hurt them all in. So he killed 20 monsters at one time, and let's say that the Black Dragon was one of them. But the Black Dragon was just a casualty of the shot. Lily wasn't able to hurt it there. So he killed 20 monsters, including the Black Dragon, in one shot. And I'm on the video there. So, what do I have to say? Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.